Welcome to the Gigs Podcast. I'm your host, Nikki Sands, founder and CEO of Gigs, the professional career platform for the live event industry. On this podcast, we are interviewing the very best in the touring and live event industry to hear the good, bad, ugly, and unreal moments of life gigging and lessons learned on the road. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with Jamison Wiersema, an Experiential Marketing Tour Manager, brand rep, and CDL-A driver. Jamison has managed marketing campaigns for WME, IMG Live, working with clients like Budweiser, Verizon, and Coca-Cola, has been involved in some of the biggest events in the industry, including the Super Bowl, the World Series, and major music festivals. Currently, Jamison is the activation manager for the Tim McGraw Arena Tour, handling the transport, build, and activation of a 53-foot mobile on-demand gym for the touring team. We have a lot to talk about. Jamison, welcome to the Gigs Podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here with you and do this convo. This is going to be great.
This is, when I'm looking at your resume and just what you've done, it's so different than what I'm used to hearing of being in the touring world, but it goes hand in hand. And it's really cool. I'm really excited to get into it.
Sure.
Starting with, you just wrapped the Tim McGraw Tour.
Yep.
Talk to me about your job. What does this even mean to have 53-foot mobile on-demand gym? Who is this for? How does all of this work?
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot to it. So, Tim, obviously he's very into fitness. Everybody I talk to that hears the name Tim, it's like fitness and him are hand in hand. Mm-hmm. What happened is I think he really enjoys working out. His days are fueled by his workout. So I want to say maybe 3 years ago, 2022, 2 years ago, he built this gym. He had this gym built by a company out of Detroit. And that company was hired by him to manage it as he goes on tour so that his gym can go with him everywhere he goes.
So it's built in a truck?
It's built in a 53-foot trailer. It's originally a low boy, so it was down to we'll call it studs, right? Down to the studs, and completely outfitted to be an expandable gym. So imagine a typical trailer you see down the road, 53-footer, but the sides slide out, kind of like an RV kind of deal. And the front has a full HVAC system, so you can get it all the way up to 100 degrees inside, or you can get it down to 55 degrees inside. Whoa. So it's very expansive. It's whatever environment you want in there, you can get. It's got a sauna inside. It's a full-on mobile gym. It's a So he hires this company to move it around, and I work for that company. Mm-hmm. And that's my job, is to drive it around. I'm basically a truck driver, I guess, but I'm also a gym manager and on the side with that. So.
Okay, a lot of questions with that.
It's a lot.
Super cool. We're going to get into how you even got into this world.
Sure.
But to start, how do you how do you have the treadmill not moving all around? How does a gym live in a truck? Well, how does that work?
Yeah. So everything gets stored in the center of the trailer. So we strap everything down. There's things that are bolted down. And obviously you got dumbbells, you got squat racks, you got a lot of heavy things, punching bag, all these big things that weigh a lot.
Whoa.
So we strap it down in the middle. And once we pull into a venue, we level it out with our hydraulics. That's when we fold out the sides, and then everything from the middle kind of slides out, and we place throughout the whole gym to make it look like a nice fitted gym that you would normally go to.
I can imagine he's reached a level of his career where if he's going to tour, he's going to have the best of the best out there. So he's mentally well.
Absolutely.
So does he work out just by himself? Do you get to work out with him? Does the crew work out with him? How does it work?
Yeah. So he holds group workouts during the tour. So usually a couple different times, 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, we'll all meet out there. And he leads it. He doesn't have a trainer out here with him. He's knowledgeable enough at this point where he's almost training us. He's walking us through how to do these different exercises and showing us these new ab workouts to different kind of squat routines. And he's very educated on it. So we get to work out with him. He has his alone time when he wants it in the morning or early afternoon. He'll have his alone time. And then he's got his cold plunge inside that he likes to do.
What?
So yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. He's got it's beautiful inside. So he's got it made. But we do engage with it as well. And that's the part of the benefit of this job is to be around him and his team. And Yeah, it's really cool.
So you're like, yeah, you just never know what truck you're driving next to on the highway. And also in an arena, you have all these trucks that are holding stage equipment and everything that's unloading. And this just lives, I guess, in the arena parking lots.
Yep.
Okay.
And I work directly with the truck drivers.
Yeah.
And, all of those guys to coordinate where we're going to park and out of people's way. It's a whole production, and those guys are very skilled that run that. So.
Do you sleep in the cab?
There's times we do. We do have a hotel budget.
Okay.
We can stay in the truck if we want, or we can sleep in hotels. A lot of times it just makes sense to sleep in the truck. I mean, a lot of these other truckers, that's what they do for those 3 shows in a weekend. So it makes sense for us to do that as well. And we like to follow those guys to stay as a team. And yeah, it's really interesting.
Okay, let's get into how you even became a driver in this industry. Let's go back to the very beginning. What got you into the experiential marketing world?
Okay, I'll kind of break it pretty, keep it tight if I can. Yeah, so I graduated college, moved back to my hometown, and took on a
Where's home?
Sterling, Illinois, Rock Falls, Illinois. Milledgeville's the town. Shout out Milledgeville. But it's a very small town. But the local junior college is where I went and played basketball for 2 years. So I went to there, and then I went to Illinois State, got a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and then moved home.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What? Hey, we talk about that.
Okay, yeah.
Why that?
Yeah, that was my brother was working in the federal Department of Justice, and at kind of around that time getting his master's, and I kind of just saw him doing it, and I thought that's kind of what I want to do. My uncle or my cousin was a police officer at that time, and I really didn't know I had no idea what I wanted to do, but that's the path I went. I wouldn't do it now if I knew, I wouldn't do it again. But yeah, so coming out of college with a bachelor's degree, thinking I want to be a police officer, that was kind of the thought. Stay in my hometown in Dixon or Rock Falls and be a cop. So when I moved back home, I took on the security job working for this college that I went to. And it was full time, but I had a lot of weekends off. So I was taking on other gigs, roofing and, pulling carpet and doing other things just to pay my student loans off. So I was getting on Craigslist and looking at gigs. Back then we didn't, and that was 2012. We didn't have a lot of, things where you could find gigs on, Facebook Marketplace or things. So Craigslist was the way to go. But I came across a gig that was brand ambassador, and it was in Chicago where my brother lived, 2 hours from my hometown. I thought, $20 an hour, I can go in there for 2 days and work this Spartan race, go in and make more money in that weekend than I did in a week. And it was a brand ambassador position, and I didn't know what that was. I had no idea, but I knew, that I liked money, and I wanted to go do it for that. It was only 2 hours away.
It's a gig, baby.
It's a gig, baby. I'll take it. So went in there and ended up working for a marketing company out of Chicago that had a contract with the Air National Guard, and the Air National Guard had a sponsorship with the Spartan race, and the Air National Guard had a footprint at every Spartan race. And this marketing.
What's a Spartan race?
Spartan race is like a Tough Mudder.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of
so cool.
Down to the military style.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was their sponsorship that the Air National Guard had. They were trying to recruit more people, and part of their marketing strategy was to go to all these Spartan races, and it was a tour. So it was. So I guess now we're kind of getting into what that whole world is. But this was a tour. So the Air National Guard had a team that traveled to all these events for Spartan races and attempted to get people to sign up. And that's what I was hired to do: stand out there and shake hands and try to get people to talk to a recruiter.
Wow!
And it blew my mind that these guys got to travel the country and represent the Air National Guard, doing that. So that's how I learned about it. Do you want me to keep going on that one?
I want to keep going.
There's a lot to that.
This is very cool. So you get there and you're like, not even knowing what a brand ambassador is. You then are like, okay, I'm representing this company I've never worked for. I've never worked in the military. I've never done any of this.
Exactly.
How did you learn? Did you just learn right on the spot? Did they just tell you a script to say?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
They kind of gave me a couple bullet points the night before. So it was a Saturday, Sunday event. Friday afternoon, I drove into my brother's. They sent me an email. These are the talking points. This is what we kind of want you to say, and these are what we want you to say. So yeah, it was just me standing out there and trying to get people to talk to this recruiter, and I was just going along with what my superior boss was telling me to do. You stand up. It's very simple.
Yeah.
You're in the sun, and you're kind of just, I didn't know anything else. I follow the guy, do my job, and
wow. And from that, did you get some recruits? Did you get a list of people to sign up?
I think I did okay for the weekend. They ended up, they said I did well. So I think we did okay. Yeah.
So then what, did this open a whole new world for you?
Yeah. So from that point, it was a great weekend, and being around those guys that tour for the marketing company representing the Air National Guard. So these two guys.
Did anyone know this was a job? Like, this is so cool.
It's
you
crazy.
You don't learn about this stuff in college
No,
or in
you
high
don't.
school.
Nope,
Wow,
not at all.
keep going.
So these guys traveled the country and really cool guys. And I got to talking to them kind of when it was during my breaks and off time. And they were telling me, live in hotels. We travel for 6 months out of the year. And then we take the other 6 months vacationing or doing other things. But it's contract work. You bounce around to different marketing agencies and work for all these different marketing programs. And it just so happened that Sunday afternoon, the hiring manager towards the end of the day happened to come out. I think maybe she was a VP of Experiential for that marketing company. But I took her aside and her name was Heidi. Shout out to Heidi. I took her aside and I just said, Heidi, listen, I really want to do this full time for you. I think this fits my life. I want to do this. And she said, well, that's really great to hear. We actually have an all of a sudden opening in New York where you're going to be traveling the East Coast.
Wow.
Going to state fairs, doing the Air National Guard. So the Air National Guard had a couple different sponsorships. One side with state fairs, another with Spartan Race, another with somebody else, who knows what. But this team in the Northeast was going to all these state fairs. So she said, okay, great. We'll give us a week. Let's put you in front of the client on Monday morning on a video call. And so we did that. And a week later, I was on my way to New York City.
Wow.
Yeah. So then I was.
This was it.
This was it. This is what started it all, and that's what started this traveling life that I've been able to do for 11 years now, basically being on the road.
So you as the brand ambassador are working for the marketing agency that was hired by the brand that is sponsoring the event.
Exactly.
Yo.
Exactly.
People need to know that this exists. That's so cool.
Yep.
And you are, you're hands-on in event. And then also, are you an extrovert? You seem very extroverted.
Yeah,
Talk
I think
to anybody.
the older I get, the more I'm a little more introverted.
Yeah.
But absolutely.
That's just starting to not like people. That's very different.
Maybe so. But I get energy from other people for sure.
Yeah. If that I can imagine, like, as an entry-level job, that can teach you so much of, like, getting the courage to go up to people and have them have a conversation with you, getting rejected. Then it's like sales. You're learning cold calling in person. That's amazing.
100%.
Okay, so you get up to New York and you start. What does this tour look like?
Yeah, so I joined a 3-person tour team. It was two older folks, a British guy, and then a lady. They were working together, and this other guy had to drop out. He was starting his own business, or I don't know how much I can say here, but he was actually starting his own porn business.
Okay.
Yeah, he was starting his own porn business. So he dropped out, and I never met the guy.
Chasing his dreams.
He was going big he was going for the gold.
Jeez.
And so that's his reality. He was going to start a porn business. So he had to drop out. So I flew out with these two people, and that's what we did. We traveled, and what this was just a pickup truck and a trailer, like a box trailer, but it crossed over the CDL. It was over 10,000 pounds, so it crossed over the CDL threshold. So the guy had to be a CDL driver. And that's what we did. Same kind of deal. Just went to these every weekend. We were at a state fair I think we did all those Northeast states.
Are you sleeping in the van or the
nope.
truck? Okay.
We had a hotel budget in this case,
Great.
and we had a military budget, which was nice. So it was still the Air National Guard client. So we each had our own room, of course, and
nice.
But long 2-day drives together sometimes, and just being around each other, every hour, almost every day.
Wow.
Getting dinners together. You're 3 strangers traveling the country, trying to make it work. So.
Wow.
Yeah, really cool experience.
How long were you out with that first run?
That was 9 weeks.
Wow.
So it was, to be thrown into the fire for 9 straight weeks right away was a lot.
And did you love it?
I loved it. Those two battled a little bit.
Okay.
And there were several times I had to present what I thought was the truth to the hiring manager, because I really was in the middle of it. I was brand new. I was willing to learn, but these two had been doing it for many years, and they collided a lot. And I watched them, many times go on a full-on yelling spree.
When you're around each other nonstop,
Yep.
and you're exhausted and you're sleeping hardly any,
Yep.
and you're touring, you don't get to go home.
Indeed.
That's like just part of this job.
100%.
How did you keep your composure through all of it? And like, what do you find is like the best way to be like, I can't stand this person today? What do you do to make sure that you're okay with your crew?
Yeah, that's a great question. At that time, I was there to please. Mm-hmm. I was new to the industry. I wanted to learn everything. I learned that this truck driver, I saw what kind of money he was making compared to what I was making as a newbie into the industry. I was like, man, this guy's got it. This guy's got it. And I watched him, spend time. Yep. And so he, that was the, that's his reality. He was going to And I was already kind of seeing what he was, kind of watching him and how he did things. There was one of those two certainly I wanted to emulate their style. They both brought a lot to the table, but I kind of picked and chose what I want out of each of those and learned from those two. But that was, I don't know. I just was there to please and do my job. I wasn't there to, be friends with them. I was there to do the job and be acquaintances. If we guys want to be friends, let's be friends. But it was just them two. They both enjoyed my presence, I believe. They acted like maybe it's just because they got away from the other person.
Yeah,
so they enjoyed
there you go.
I don't know.
Maybe there's a beauty in three sometimes.
Sure.
That's a small camp right there.
It's a small camp. Yeah,
dang. So I'm sure also that's like a huge perk of being on the road is you're not spending any of your own money. You're basically not spending money and you're only making money. So 100%. I can imagine after that you're like, oh, this is it.
Yeah.
So
sorry, I interrupted
you. No, this is it. So you see that truck driver is making more. Right after that, are you like, I need to get my CDL?
Yep. It took me right after that tour. It was only 9 weeks. So I took a chance because I didn't know what would happen after that 9 weeks. But even Heidi had said, the hiring manager, she basically said, as soon as you're done, we're going to find stuff for you. There's always stuff available.
Love it.
So Verizon was another client.
Huge.
And so they had two Sprinter vans that traveled, 4 total people, 2 guys, 2 girls. Mm-hmm. And I got on that tour right after that. And we're all 4 still friends now. And we just had, early 20s, we just had a great time.
Wow.
But yeah, that was that second part after that. But yeah, I saw what he was making as a CDL driver, and I just thought, okay, I need to get the CDL. So to answer that question, what you asked is, hopped on that other tour. That was 3 months long, but right after that, that next tour, the Verizon one, 3 months with 4 of us. And I think that tour we all had our own hotel room, which was really nice. But going into it, I thought we were going to be bunked up, guys and girls. It's a way to save costs. We're new. I would expect that. If I'm running an agency, I would ask my 4 newbies to bunk up, save some cash here. But yeah, so got the CDL after that tour.
Got it.
And then a lot of things really kind of exploded from there.
How? You associate driving, at least I have always, with, either you're driving the bus on the tour or you're driving the truck. And if you're driving the truck, you are transporting, I don't even think that you're transporting a gym.
Of course.
How does that open up experiential marketing?
Yeah, so some of your largest experiential marketing programs are built out of these 18-wheelers. So like the easiest or the like a very comparable idea that I would have is like imagine a semi trailer that opens up on one side, and and inside Verizon is doing product demos, and on a random street or in a state fair or somewhere. Those are your largest marketing campaigns right there, where you got these, just completely custom built trailers. So it's a huge market, and yeah.
So you have over 250,000 CDL miles under your belt.
Yeah, indeed.
In how many years? How did you, how long did you have to drive to get that?
Yeah, so I think I got that before this past tour with McGraw. So
wow.
Yeah, driving rigs to driving big box trucks to even driving little cars sometimes that are, custom wrapped just for a marketing campaign. And there's so many vehicles that I feel like I've taken on, but I school buses, but I have yet to do a tour bus.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but I don't have my passenger endorsement. So
got it.
And I need to get that. But at this point, I'm kind of venturing away from the driving a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because it's been 10 years and it's been great, but I kind of want to do a little something different.
And that's learning more.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We're getting into it.
Yeah.
So before that, you've activated 45 of the largest 50 cities in the U.S. For major events like the Super Bowl, the World Series.
Indeed.
First, I just want to know, what is your favorite city you've gotten to work in and favorite event?
The Super Bowls, my viewpoint is from the experiential side. So I love to see what companies are putting into these live event programs for people to be a part of. The Super Bowl is incredible, and I've been to 2 now. The Atlanta one and this last one was in LA. Yeah, I think.
No, New Orleans.
No, I think it was LA.
It was Vegas.
This is Vegas. It was Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Lord. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
So and it's been several different capacities that I've been at the Super Bowl I've never been into the game. I'll make that clear, but I think that's probably the coolest event because that is top level of events in the U.S. I think. I don't know what else would be. The X Games was incredible in Aspen. That was 2018 and just incredible.
Wow. Yeah, Super Bowl is really when everyone's having a brand activation. I feel like that is the mecca for brand activation.
Absolutely.
Truly. Yeah.
Yep. You get it's an incredible experience. But
how did you get those gigs then? Who are you working for?
So at that time I was with 160 over 90 out of St. Louis.
Is that a marketing company?
It is.
Okay.
And it's a subsidiary of WME.
Yep.
So Endeavor, they own. So I'm still learning a lot of that stuff. But yeah, they're the parent company. They got bought out when I was with 160. It was a couple companies even before then. But when I left, it was 160 over 90. But what they do is they manage mobile sports bars for Anheuser-Busch InBev.
Yo.
So there's like 20 of these.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, Super Bowl. They got 3 or 4 activations with these bars, and the local distributor gets to have them for that weekend, you know.
Cool.
And so that's why I was there. I think I had a bar one year. Another year I was there just outfitting a hotel for 160 over 90, doing more like installations of graphics and
wow.
inside the hotel to make all those AB employees got their own hotel, and it was decked out in that brand. I think it was Bud Light that was sponsoring the Super Bowl that year.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Can you take me through what it means to all right, you're there for opening a bar, and what types of clients, who is invited to these activations? Are you in like a public space?
Yep.
What does it look like setting up during and loading out?
Sure. Yeah. So I'll use there's several of these bars that go to football games in particular regions of the U.S. So the one I was just on several months ago was the Patriots game. I'm trying to think of the towns. Yeah, where the Patriots play, Gillette Stadium.
Yeah, I couldn't help you there. Sorry.
Yeah. So every home game, they have a bar that goes there, and it's stored at their local distributor. And yeah, I would fly in, Uber over to their distributor, hop in the truck and the trailer, and do the pre-trip inspection, make sure everything's ready to go on the road.
Okay. And
and it's a 60,000 pound trailer. It's not a full 80,000, but it's 60,000 pounds. You're a big truck on the road. So yeah, we drive to the stadium. We set it up. It takes about 2 hours to set up, and we clean it up real nice. And somebody's paying big money to have that there, so it's our job to make it look pristine. And because you never know who AB is going to have out there, sitting on that bar, and it's a reflection of who you are. So you got to make that bar look nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, we set it up. Takes a couple hours, and then it's activated for the game. Anybody can go out and can buy beer from it.
Got it. Do they also hire bartenders, or is that something you've had to pick up too?
No, I don't. There's been times where I step in.
Yeah.
But they do really well with the staffing of that.
Got it.
Normally it's a volunteer agency that's local that they partner with the venue, and there's a lot of hands involved with that stuff. And it's hard to keep up sometimes. You never know who's who, but yeah, it's a whole deal. So yeah, when it's done, I think it's halftime, we break it back down, pack it up, hit the road, and bring it back, and then I usually fly out and go to the next one. So
dang.
Yeah.
And this is all under marketing arm. Okay.
Yep.
Wow. I'm interested in your least favorite event, and if you can't say it, that's fine. But something that maybe it didn't have to do with the brand or even the agency, whatever it was, but the event, you're like, I just never want to do that again.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I have a least favorite. I mean, the fairs are pretty tough. Doing a fair is pretty, because I forget about the days of pre-Anheuser-Busch. Those days when I was younger, I forget about those. A lot of my years have been with Anheuser-Busch doing the bars. So yeah, the state fairs are tough. Just a weird group of people, a little bit, just a different group of people.
Different group of people, hot. And,
outside, sweating all day.
Yeah.
Days are long, not much sleep. You're on your feet all day long on the concrete.
Totally.
Sweating and
dang.
Yeah.
So you average 310 nights per year in hotels.
Yep.
For the past 7 years.
Yep, that was my first 7 years. Yep, my first 7 years of touring. It was I didn't have an apartment.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't have a vehicle. I didn't own anything. I didn't have a storage unit. I had everything at my parents' house in my room.
Wow.
And it was.
Did you love it?
I did. Oh, I loved it. I loved every minute of it. And it becomes your identity after a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And I have that's something I work with day in, day out now is like, okay, what's your identity?
Who are
now?
you?
Yeah. Who are you?
Who is Jamison now?
Who is that man that you live with day in, day out?
Yeah, totally.
So it's, but 7 years of no car, no rent, no vehicle. Yeah. No.
Do you see yourself doing that again?
No.
Okay.
Nope. That life is for the young, and it's, the 20s, it was the best decision I could have ever made. It's really set me up for a good life. And, I made sacrifices then, but I also had a great time.
Yeah.
And I traveled with my best friend Vince for 2 full years.
No.
And just made the best memories at country music festivals. So
cool.
How can you turn that down and say it was tough? Like, it wasn't tough. It was just
just
a different way of life.
It's how you kind of start getting your sea legs, and you're doing that, and it's hard, but you're loving it. You say you outgrew it, or at least you're maybe too old for it at this point.
Sure.
Where do you go? What's the next place you go in experiential marketing then?
Yeah, from here, for me, it's kind of a joke in that industry is like the road people end up making more money on a year-end basis than your boss in the office. So some people will transfer into the office for a little more stability, take on that full-time role with the benefits and the insurance and the whole deal. And that's fine. You could do that. It's a little less money, but it is stable. So that's what most people do. But I'm probably not going to do that.
Yeah.
I do like the contract work, what I'm doing now. I'm kind of in and out now at this most recent gig. It'll be flying in and out, which is nice.
Okay, let's get into it. What does this job mean? So Southwest is a big sponsor of SEC.
Yep. So I'll be working for a marketing agency that has the contract to manage the sponsorship between Southwest Airlines and the SEC, their official airline partner, right?
Nice.
So with that sponsorship, they get a small activation space. I think it's maybe 10 foot by 10 foot activation space at each tailgate, I guess you can call it. Yeah.
Sports guy.
Big sports guy. Right
Big
here.
sports
guy.
A tailgate.
Tailgate, sorry. So I'll be setting myself and a buddy of mine who I've worked with before in this industry. We will set up this activation, and there'll be some brand ambassadors there doing exactly what I did back in 2012, smiling and trying to get people to, I'm not sure what they'll be doing at that activation, but it is a footprint.
Nice.
Yep. So that's what I'll do Thursday to Sunday, every weekend from the end of August till end of December.
So you just moved officially and signed a lease in Nashville.
I did, yeah.
Welcome, by the way.
Thank you so much.
So
Everybody
exciting.
has given me so much love. It's incredible.
Well, it's the best town ever, so welcome.
I'm feeling it.
And so you just did the Weekend Warrior country touring kind of mode with Tim McGraw.
Indeed.
So this is the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Weekend Warrior, you're leaving Thursday, coming back Sunday.
100%.
But just for one game. So what does it mean? Do you have like a bus call? Are you flying? What does it mean for Thursday night for you?
So Friday morning is going to be it's kind of weird. Friday morning is going to be our setup time. So Thursday will be my drive-in / fly-in because we're close to the SEC. A lot of the SEC games are going to be somewhat close to Nashville.
Yeah.
So I can drive to a lot of those places, and I would rather drive than fly a lot of times.
For sure.
I like to have everything in my vehicle. I'm used to that.
You're a driver.
I'm a driver. I'm used to that life.
Not who you are anymore. But hell yeah,
my identity,
you know
Dad.
how to drive. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd rather drive. So in this case, I can drive in Thursday night. We'll set up Friday, prep everything Friday. The game is Saturday. That'll be a busy day, and then fly or drive back Saturday night or Sunday morning, however that works. So yeah.
And you've never been to an SEC game.
Never been to an SEC game.
Dude.
Yeah.
This is going to be a very fun fall for you.
I'm excited.
When do you start?
August 26th.
Oh my gosh.
I think the first game's in Lexington.
Okay.
Lexington or Gainesville. It's one of those two.
Do you know who's playing?
No, I should know that. It's on the calendar. I looked at the calendar several times, and I still don't know.
That's fun. Well, we're gonna have to go out to one because I've
You're
only
welcome.
been to a Gamecocks game. That's like the only SEC experience. I would
Sure.
love to experience a Georgia game, an Alabama
Who'd
game.
they play?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know.
You were just there.
I was in college. Maybe Clemson. That makes sense.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to Elon, North Carolina. It was in North Carolina, small liberal arts college. Yeah.
Got it.
Loved it. But yeah, I mean, SEC, that is a time. It's very fun.
I'm pumped.
Okay.
I'm pumped.
So that's coming up. And so are you working any gigs until that, or are you kind of just chilling?
I'm chilling.
Good.
Yeah, I'm chilling. I got a lot of things. Yeah.
What does chilling look like for you?
I love, 4 months on the road. a lot of your personal life is pretty much gone during that time. So a lot of touring friends that I have, as you know, they get to come home sometimes. Quite often they get to come home for that week, for that Monday through Thursday, whatever it is. In that particular touring with Tim McGraw, I was on the road all of the time.
Wow.
So I was driving to the next city as soon as we get there. Yeah, we had a couple days off before the next show, but we were still away from home.
Wow.
In a hotel or in the truck or whatever we were doing. And so I didn't have my routine stuff. And the older I get, the more I enjoy that stuff that you get in your house. You know, the meal prepping, the one gym you go to, going to a songwriter's night or something. You know, like doing those things are fun. So I'm hanging out here. I'm really just having fun. That's the simple way of saying it. I'm enjoying myself. I'm meeting people, trying out all the gyms, and yeah, I really like that stuff. So.
Oh, that's so fun. And you get a break.
Yeah, I get a break.
And you will, and you know, I mean, I think you're going to like this Weekend Warrior, because when you come back, it's still tough because, you know, you are catching up on life Monday through Wednesday, but I mean, you get to have a life. That's kind of the perk of country touring.
100%.
Even though you're not country touring. How wild is that?
Yeah, it's great. I'm really, everything lined up really well with this new job, or new gig, contract, whatever. Just to be in Nashville, so close to SEC, but still be in this country music world that I'm now kind of a part of now, it seems like. Yeah. It's been 2 years now with McGraw, so I'm starting to, a lot of my friends are from here now, and that's my connections are starting to be this way. So
wow.
Yeah.
How long does this activation go?
This one will go until probably the end of December.
Wow.
But I know we're going to do some things for men's college basketball and women's college basketball. So I think it's going to be kind of an ongoing thing, and
good.
And I can curate it to a way that what fits best, and yeah.
I want to get into you know, this is huge to be able to say, yes, I have a 6-month gig. That is awesome. You're locked in. Peace of mind. But knowing, okay, when December comes, what am I going to do next? Have you ever had long periods, or have you ever had that kind of, we call it gig-anxiety of like, oh my gosh, what's coming next? I don't know. Or have you just always been like, no, I know something's going to come. I'm going to set myself up.
Yeah, that's such a good question. I love that question, because I've never, thank the good Lord, right? I've never had to really put myself out there for jobs. A lot of them they've kind of reached me, and I don't know how that has happened, but it's been a blessing. So I used to feel like that sometimes in the beginning part, but then, in the early years.
Yeah. But
with time, after each tour, somebody would reach out. I mean, there'd be times where it was 3 or 4 days before the end of the tour, and I still had nothing lined up. And some of my tour friends, what are you going to do, man? What's next? But I didn't have a lot of expenses, you know? So if I wanted to go home, I'd go home and chill.
Yes.
And hang with mom and dad, or go hang out in Chicago with my buddies, college buddies or something, you know? But yeah, I don't have that feeling, but come December, I'm not sure what I like to do a lot of my own little things that I play around with, and so I'm no anxiety for me, just whatever's next.
So the reason you're sitting here, there's a lot of reasons, and I'm so grateful to know you. To go back even further, be kind of closer to the beginning of this year, you saw some gigs ads on Instagram.
Indeed.
You reached out either through that or through email.
Yep.
And ultimately ended up being an investor in gigs.
Yeah.
So thank you a million times.
I'm happy. I'm excited to be with you for this ride. It's going to be fantastic.
It is cool because, you know, I mean, that's our strategy is to have really strategic investors. Sure. And it was so cool to be able to add someone in this experiential marketing side of the live event industry. Huge side. I know really not much about. Now I'm learning.
Sure.
So it's incredible to have you on the team.
Thank
but
you.
also, had no idea you were moving to Nashville, walk into one of my favorite coffee shops, Sam and Zoe's in Berry Hill, and see you right there. It's amazing.
Unreal.
And so you get this orange juice now. Yeah. Now, are you going there all the time?
Well, it's right next to the apartment building. The first apartment building that I visited in Nashville when I came down for 2 days just to take a look around, do some tours. The first one I went to was the one near that coffee shop. And yeah, you were.
That's just the way God works. I mean, it's pretty amazing. Oh, hi! I've never met you in person. Hello, welcome to Nashville. Oh, you're signing a lease. Oh, let's get you on the podcast. Are you free in a week? And hello, now we're going.
So wild. It's just crazy. That whole deal was a wild day. Mm-hmm. And I signed with that apartment because that day was such a wild. And I met my friend Carrie too.
Yes,
a mutual friend.
Carrie. Yep,
I
she
met
was
her
right
there,
mm-hmm.
and you knew her, and it felt right for me. And you know, a guy who's not even, I don't know anybody here except really a couple people, and here you two are there, and It blew my mind.
It's the way it's supposed to work. You sign that lease. You are a Nashvilleian now officially.
I'm all in.
And that's incredible. So, okay. Do you have any favorite activation kind of traditions? Like if you start with a team, it's brand new people, you're working with strangers, maybe you're on a tour with them for 6 months, for 3 months, whatever it is. Do you have favorite traditions or activities? You're like, hey, we have a day off. Let's do this or that.
No, but I love to hike, and I encourage people to hike. I love nature. It's one of my favorite pastimes. Luckily, the brand ambassadors that we get are a lot of times through staffing companies, so I feel disconnected with them sometimes. But they're always good. They do what they need to do, and I do what I need to do. But routines, no. I think kind of a thing that I really like is the meal prepping and being hydrated.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree that if you're not hydrated and you're hungry and you're not eating the right stuff, your day is destroyed.
Yes.
So that's a routine I live and die by, even on this tour, McGraw Tour.
Does it get lonely, especially if you have people that you're out with and it's small and you're not really connecting with people and you don't have a home? Like, how do you deal with feeling lonely? Yeah,
it got several weeks where it was really rough towards the, I don't know, maybe 2018 time. 'Cause then I went to Guatemala and Mexico and stayed there for almost 2 years.
Oof.
After this.
Okay, let's get into that next. Yep.
Just to change my life a bit, because it was getting lonely. You know, your friends are all doing stuff back in Chicago and in other cities, and you're missing out on things. But yeah, the loneliness is real, especially when you're, I'll call it a truck driver.
Yeah.
Because that was a lot of time behind the wheel. I mean, that many miles, that's a lot of time just by yourself, calling friends and things. But yeah, the loneliness is real. I mean, if you don't have a crew that you're with and chatting things out, you're just in your own little mind.
Yeah, that's wild. You gotta have the. Do you have anything where you're like, I need to work out every day? I need to go on a hike when I'm in a certain city that has a mountain or whatever it is.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. The gym life and at least getting that heart rate up and the sweat every day it's such an important thing, and it's really not talked about enough. I mean, it's just not talked about enough. It should be a part of everybody's life, but it's so important in mine. So
yeah, I mean, you work out for your mental health, and then the physical benefits you kind of get from
absolutely.
Yeah. That. Let's talk about South America. Why did you? What led you there, and why did you stay for 2 years?
Yeah, so at the end of 2019, it was my idea to go do like a 6-month hiatus and just go travel Mexico and Central America. So I left on New Year's Day out of Chicago, flew to Cancun, and that was where it all started. And I just bounced around. I surfed a bunch. I snorkeled.
Where were you staying?
I'd stay in hostels.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know if have you yeah. So you maybe have an idea, but the hop into hostels for $10 a night, and you're partying a lot, you're going out, you're having fun, and sleeping in random places you don't even know where you're at, and going on boat rides.
Yeah, let's hear some of these stories. What was one of the wildest nights?
Yeah, there's probably a lot of those, but the best is the snorkeling. I mean, we'd go out and do like a 2-day snorkel extravaganza, just stay out in the water, sleep in a boat, and
no way,
barely sleep. You're sleeping it's splashing on you all night. It's not even. I don't know how I did it, but at the time you're so engulfed in it.
Yeah.
But I love to snorkel too. I love the Caribbean down there, and
I don't see you in a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah, it's not really for me.
Yeah.
It's not really for me.
You can ever do that. I don't think you ever should.
No.
Wow. And how cool that you had saved up so much because you're not spending any money. All you're doing is making, and you're out there for months, that you can do that and experience that.
Absolutely.
So how long was this hiatus again?
It was going to be 6 months, but I spent all of January of 2020, February, and half of March 2020.
Wow.
And right at that time,
oh my gosh,
is when everything shut down. And I could have flown home for the first couple weeks. Then they paused flights.
Oh my gosh.
So I could have gone home, but there was about 9 of us that were all from different countries, all solo travelers, and we all put our hands in and said, if this is this bad, take it. Let us pass this world here in Guatemala where we're at. So we were in Guatemala at that time. And we just put our hands in and said, we're all going to stay. We're going to stay until this is over. Yeah.
With strangers.
With strangers. Totally strangers.
Beautiful.
And we ended up renting out this hotel. We all kind of put our money together and presented a kind of a deal. Hey, we can't pay full price for these hotel rooms, but we'll we'll all chip in and give you our commitment for at least a few months here. And the owner he jumped right on board, and it worked out perfect for him and us.
Wow.
And we lived like it was a vacation for 6 months.
6 months?
6 months.
Were you on the beach?
We were there. Nope, it was about 2 hours off the beach, but
Okay.
they still had shuttles that would go back and forth. So we'd go every couple of weeks. We'd go to the beach, but played a lot of poker. We worked out a lot. We climbed Volcano de Fuego, it's called, but it's a live volcano in Guatemala.
What?
Yeah, and that was we
That's a dream.
We had a great time. We just had a really good time.
Do
So
you keep in touch with these people?
I do. Yep. Probably 5 of them. Of the 9, I would keep really consistent conversations with. A lot of them still live in Mexico. They moved to Mexico City. My friend Amy started a gym down there. Another friend does like Spanish lessons and Danish down there.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, it's an interesting group of people. But
Teaching Danish in Mexico.
in Mexico,
Yeah, they don't teach any of these jobs in school. That is
They don't.
crazy.
They don't. I know.
That is so cool.
And you wonder how. The economy's so big. You just don't. I say it all the time. I feel like most of the jobs out there we don't even really know about. And I really feel like we don't know about a lot of the jobs that are out there.
Yes.
Everyone knows the firefighter, the police, doing these things. But like a tour manager, I never knew what a tour manager was when I was younger.
Me neither.
I never knew anything about that stuff, and it's a whole industry.
Absolutely. Great paying jobs that, and the industry needs it. We need more people.
For sure. For sure.
And yeah, I mean, this is just gig life. You are literally just the star of gig life in all the different ways, which is just too cool. We have, at the end, we do rapid fire questions. So the first thing you think of.
Great.
And some of them might be longer answers, but starting with, what was your first concert you ever went to?
It was Dustin Lynch played at my Carroll County Fair.
Aww.
And he wasn't really well known at that time, but he came rolling in with 2 buses, and I ended up seeing him later on in life doing a Dollar General and Budweiser kind of a partnership in Goodlettsville, actually, where DG is located. I just realized that.
Wow.
And I told him that, and he kind of laughed or whatever. And but that was my first real concert at my fair.
What? How old were you?
I was probably 19.
No,
19, I'd say.
Okay.
I don't know what year that would have been. Yeah.
Okay. What is your favorite venue or I guess arena space to work? When you know you're about to go work at a certain venue or place for these activations, what gets you fired up?
What's my favorite? I love the sheds. I love the amphitheaters. The arenas are kind of a lot the same. I did play at the Forum. In LA. Yeah, Inglewood. And that was really dope. And that was to be a part of that history. And I didn't really, I'm pretty new to the music touring world. So that I'm still learning a lot with that. But they were, a lot of the band members popping on them were telling me how iconic that building is. So that was really dope. That was cool to be a part of.
Very cool. What's your favorite venue to see a show?
Not Red Rocks. Watershed, the Gorge.
The Gorge up in Washington State?
Yeah.
That is,
on the river.
Same. It's the coolest
It's
experience.
so good. It's the first time I met BOC, actually, was up there, and I didn't know who he was at that time, how important he was, and I was there, and just before the shows, I was just looking at the whole backdrop, and just blew my mind.
Wow.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. No, that's one of the coolest places I've ever been, ever. What is your favorite hotel to stay at, since you've stayed in a lot of hotels?
Favorite hotel?
Or chain or line?
Probably IHG. I mean,
IHG.
Yeah, and it's because I'm just there all the time. We don't.
Probably got some points.
I got a lot, almost 1 million.
Oh my God.
And I'd let my mom use them. My dad, they'll drive to Florida sometimes and they'll use them. But yeah, IHG's probably just because I know it. But I love the Marriotts. I love the Staybridge Suites. That's an IHG, but you got the full kitchen, the whole.
Yeah.
Gotta have that.
You're staying for a while. Yeah. What's your favorite snack when you're driving?
It's a brown sugar Kellogg's Pop-Tart.
Shut up.
It's my favorite, yeah.
That is
it's my
so
guilty
good.
pleasure.
Have you ever eaten a whole package before?
A whole box?
A whole box?
Not a box, but I did 2 packages, which is 4 in total.
Yep. That's
all
easy.
in one sitting.
I feel
That's
like
a lot.
Yeah, I mean it's like a ridiculously processed, terrible food. But I feel like I could do an eating competition and do those. I could eat a whole box.
They're
easy.
so good.
Easy.
The brown cinnamon's the best of all of them.
For sure. What's your favorite workout in the truck gym? If you got to go in the truck gym, what would be the first thing you do?
Yeah, I probably the punching bag. He's got a punching bag in there, and I'm not a fighter. I don't know how to fight. I don't even know how to punch. My buddies make fun of me because I don't know how to punch, but I love just playing around with that, doing leg kicks and trying to be Joe Rogan with his kicks and trying to be that. That's probably it. Try to go with the martial arts of some kind.
Love that. Yep. Keep going. Oh, you have more?
Nope.
Most memorable city that you've driven through?
Most memorable city
or worked in?
I love all the Montana cities. Laramie, Wyoming is beautiful. Mm-hmm. I mean, Fort Lauderdale, driving down.
Yeah, Wyoming and Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, quite
super comparable.
Yeah, but so is, that's probably my two. Boise's beautiful too. There's so many beauties.
Do you have a go-to playlist vibe while you're driving?
My friend Paola made this playlist with Billy Strings. It's very bluegrassy. I think that's probably one of my favorites. It's got, of course, Tyler Childers on there, and is that a little bit of Zach Bryan on? It's probably that.
Bluegrass.
Yeah,
love it.
Bluegrass.
Oh, welcome to Nashville. I got some places I got to take
Good,
you.
please.
And if you weren't doing this, what would you be doing? Totally outside of experiential marketing, outside of the events world, what would you be doing?
The day that marketing company told me they'd like to hire me full time, so it was that Monday after that first weekend that blew my mind about experiential marketing. I got a call from my local police department saying I was next on the list.
Whoa.
So that Monday, I had to make a choice: fly to New York City, do experiential, or hop on with the local police department, Dixon PD. And if I would have stayed there, I think I would have been a Dixon police officer, probably ideally be a chief at this point.
Wow.
And probably, maybe a state trooper or something, FBI, who knows. But I think I would have done that. Because I wouldn't have known about this world. Because it's very sheltered, small town life back there. So I think that's what I would have done. And I joke with one of my friends, Kayla, about it all the time. That's what I would have done.
Do you think you would ever do that?
No.
Got to use that degree, man.
Yeah, no. I paid $40,000 for this thing. Can't let it go to nothing.
Man. And lastly, what is the best piece of advice you've received in this world, in this career, and what kind of advice you would give to someone who might think like, wow, this sounds like I could really do this?
Best piece of advice for that? I think it's kind of more broad, but if you have an idea, I think you should really try to push that. Do it. If you have an idea, go for it now. Like, I'm 35, so there's things I wish I would have done. Everyone has wishes when they were younger, but I wish I would have pursued more ideas that I had when I was younger. But for the experiential world, I think this is I wish it gets me hyped up talking to younger people about this, because you can go live debt free, have no expenses, and travel the country, make a lot of money. And I would say, be a brand ambassador for a year, get your ropes down, be really good at that, and then look for tours. Look for tours on experiential marketing agencies, and they're out there. There's tons out there. If you can talk to people, you're fairly charismatic, you got everything you need to be a good tour manager or whatever. Yeah.
Wow. Jamison, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This was so cool. We'll do this again.
Cool. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be a part of this, and I'm really excited for this. Thank you.
Thank you.